Hi everybody. That's loud. Okay, my name's Graham. I'm one of Studio MUTT. So we're an architecture practice working in Liverpool in the UK, and we work outside of our base, working really nationwide and also worldwide as well. And here's our office in Oriel Chambers. So with our work, it's predominantly public facing, and we do that as a way of really engaging with as many user groups as we can do. We work in a process using remixing and using referencing, and what that gives us is this kind of range of projects which usually appear as hybrids or of like a mixture of individual typologies. So we design for retail, we design for art, we design for hands-on learning experiences, we design one-off prototypes of buildings, we design large urban things, and we work on high streets and entire urban centres. So what I'm going to be talking about here is the transformation of Pool Meadow bus station in Coventry. So in 2021, it was the UK City of Culture, and as such, there was a wash of money coming in. So with this project, we had two large clients who were both public funded, which made our lives really difficult. So as an existing building, it's this kind of interesting assemblage of things. So it's a red brick shed, 25 years old, with these really odd portico entrances on it, which we understand the chief executive at the local authority insisted on when it was built. And what we were looking at here then is this kind of hybrid use of a very functional bus station and also a space which houses art and also those ideas of like real civic activity. So we approached it here. We looked at an existing building, and it has this route all the way through it, which is 100 meters long, and it links the main city centre with the university. And we've animated it using art, lighting, and planting. And with this route, we labelled it a promenade all the way through the building. And we've been looking at really amazing examples of historic transport buildings, and it always has this idea of grandeur to it and of like real civic activity. So here's a worm's eye drawing of that spatial sequence all the way through the building. And with this promenade, we use this series of low cost yet high impact ingredients which really animates it. So you can see here a 100-meter long mural and a series of retail frontages as well, all worked through in this 1 to 100 model. And here's what it looks like. And the project itself is it's an exercise in layering of uses, layering of things. As you can see here, it has this unique kind of hybrid use of very public spaces. It's open all day, all night, every day. And also these kind of little moments of art. We worked alongside a series of 12 existing retailers and redesigned their identity, their branding, and their kind of retail frontage. So here's one example of what it used to be and what it is now. And each of them has this kind of really characterful hanging sign as well. So we've got a weave shop, we have an opticians, we have a newsagents, and there's a kind of world food cafe as well. And right at its heart was an existing rooflit space, which we've transformed into a kind of planted conservatory. So again, it used to be that. Here's what it is now. And the process of working here was really about working out what the existing building is, what it has been, and then trying to kind of re-layer it up off of that. So a really big part of that was all of the functional things in a bus station, like wayfinding and signage, Wi-Fi, and lighting. And also, we've got a series of these large yellow planters, which are a kind of abstracted version of the 1960s route map, which have a series of kind of robust and hardy plants in there as well, which is an opportunity of you could meet somebody, you could read a book, or you could just wait for a bus. And lastly, I guess, is the kind of wider interventions of art and of wayfinding all the way through the site. So that left-hand side image is it's an artwork made from tiles, so it's kind of handmade mosaic art, working alongside a series of local groups. And the right-hand side one there is one of ours where we were looking at the history of music around Coventry, and we're doing something there which is like a little bit two-tony. And lastly, I guess, is the wayfinding all the way through the site. So those lower right-hand side images there are the 1960s identification signs on each of the local buses, and it has this really amazing font which warps and it twists, and we've used that as a real reference point all the way through. So, like on all projects, it reached a point where we ran out of money, and here is where we ran out of money. And we made it into a feature, I guess. And the legacy of this is we're now working on another 2 bus stations in a kind of 20-mile radius of this, and hopefully rolling out an approach of working alongside an existing building, existing infrastructure in the kind of West Midlands area. Thanks.